So for devotions today, I just kind of brought you out to one of my favorite places. I like to walk out here. This isn't on my property. It's a trail that I've walked since I was probably in my early 20s with my grandfather. The trail's changed a lot since then. This used to be a driveway, and as you can see, it's starting to grow in. Lots of little baby trees are coming up, and I'm just sitting here enjoying the beautiful area where I do a lot of talking to God. And I just kind of wanted to share with you my thoughts today as I was contemplating our lab about isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic solutions in the cell. And I was talking to God, and I'm like, Lord, what on earth? What can you teach us about that? Because I'm kind of clueless. I don't know. I have no idea what you could do with that. And the Lord just said to me, if you think about a pond, a healthy pond is going to have an inlet and an outlet. And that's a place where the good fresh water can come in, but it also is a place where the water can go out, and there's a flow. And as that flow goes, life is able to exist in the pond because of the refreshing, cool, new water coming in, and all the waste products going out, but also just that water flowing through the system and out to whatever else it is that it's going to go to, gives health to not just the pond itself, but it gives health to what's beyond the pond. And I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying, Lord. And he said it's like this with the hypotonic and hypertonic solutions in the cell, is when the balance of water is not maintained for a healthy environment. It needs to be isotonic. It's an equal balance. Water's coming into the cell, water's going out of the cell, things are staying balanced. The nutrients are coming and going as they need to. And everything is healthy, and the cell can grow and reproduce. And so what about my Christian walk, Lord? What are you saying? And he's like, you can put the living water in, and I am the living water. So you can put me into your life. You can read about me. You can study the Word of God. You can go to Christian school, and you can take theology classes and all that. You can learn all you possibly can about me. But if it only stays inside of you, that's not healthy. It puffs you up, just like a hypotonic solution puffs up the cell and makes it unhealthy. And it's the same way with hypertonic. If all I do is try to live my life and not put water in, and all I'm doing is constantly putting the living water out, eventually I run out of living water and I cease to be healthy, I shrivel up and I die. So the Word of God, being that it's the water, it's the living water. Jesus Christ is the living water. That's what he told the woman at the well. I am the living water. He who comes to me will never thirst again. And it's true. We won't thirst again. But it's really important that when we drink of his word, when we drink of the living water, that we also pour it out into the environment that we're in, that we live it out, that we don't just listen to the words and so deceive ourselves, as James says, but instead we listen to the words and we do what it says. And we can't just do what it says. We can't just pull in Bible verses and study on Sunday and then expect that to be enough to make us through the whole week. It would be like the hypertonic solution where we just shrivel up and die. We need to drink of the water all the time. Every single day, we need to drink of the water. If we're not, and we're just trying to live our lives a Christian way, then we're going to shrink up. We've got to fill the cup before we can empty it. So that's kind of what came to my mind as God and I were sitting here in my favorite place and enjoying his creation. And I just asked him, how on earth, Lord, how on earth do I get your truths into the cell on hypotonic, isotonic, and hypertonic solutions? See you next week.